Hi, everybody. Welcome to It's Bizzy. Here we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome to It's Bizzy. It's episode 582. If you're here, please subscribe. Please follow. If you're on Facebook, if you could give me a review, that would mean the world to me. And if you have any questions, comments, you can always email me at elizabeth@elizabethchance.com. And I'm so excited because, as I mentioned to you all on Tuesday, Becky's here.
Hello.
Welcome back, Becky.
Thanks for having me.
I
Glad to be
love,
back.
oh my gosh, I think about how blessed we are that we met in a 12-step meeting about 19 years ago
Yes.
plus. Yes.
Yep.
And we have been on this journey together for a really long time
Mhm.
and going through life. And right now, especially with Catholicism, with God, with 12-step being in long-term recovery rather than new recovery. And it's kind of fun. I have to say, I was listening as I shared with you yesterday. Sister Miriam is on this podcast called Abiding. What is it called?
Abiding Together.
Abiding Together.
Yep.
And it's so, I'm going to backtrack a little bit because yesterday I was talking to Becky and we were talking about, we always talk about Sister Miriam because we think that, why do we like her so much?
We love her. Sister Miriam, if you're listening, we would, love to have you on.
I know, exactly.
Love to have you, part of the crew.
Because even though she's married to God, she's not married to a man, right? But she has been through a lot of what we've been through.
She has. Her story's incredible. It's incredible because it resonates so much. I think I was talking to you on the phone one day when you called me and I was like, I have to call you back. I'm listening to Sister Miriam tell her story and she's telling mine.
Yeah.
So.
And it is, so you guys, I went out there and I booked her retreat. I'm going there in December to Arizona, to Goodyear, Arizona. I wonder if that's where they made the Goodyear blimp. Who knows? But who knows? But I'm going to go do that. But so then yesterday, for me personally, I get sometimes during the day, I get fearful and I hate those feelings. What do you think about fear?
What do I think about fear?
And what do you do when you get to that place where you kind of are like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen?
Yeah. Well, the miracle of long-term sobriety and just continually building a relationship with God and in turn learning to trust him more and more because he has taken care of me so much. He always has. Whether it is the way I think it's going to be or not, he takes care of me, oftentimes far better than I could ever imagine. So when I get scared, my first thought is always like, Becky, here it goes again. I know what I need to do. I know what I need to do. Recenter and connect and get quiet with God. And it does go away. And I realized, like, we learned this in the 12-step rooms as well. Fear, false evidence appearing real. Like 99.9% of the time, like I have no evidence to support the narrative that my head's telling me. I'm like, it's kind of like makes you giggle. You have to laugh. I'm like, here it goes again. It's not real. And I think with the more you practice it, the more you realize like it's not real. But it's okay to feel that way. I mean, we're humans. We all get scared. I mean, we're alive. That means we're alive, right? But on any given day, if I can project into the future or think about the past and be like, oh, I wish I said this, or why didn't I do this, or why didn't I stay true to myself and do that instead, or if I knew then what I know now, I would have done this differently. Well, that's just not the way life is, And so where am I today? And right now I'm talking to you and I have a roof over my head. I have 3 healthy children. I have an amazing husband and I am sober. So everything's good.
And I want to ask you, and I don't even know why this came into my head, but when you were, so you were raised Catholic, you went to Catholic school.
Yes, I did.
For even Catholic university.
I did. Yes. I went
and would you say that like when you were in those teenage years and 20s and early 30s, would you say you were a practicing Catholic? What was your journey like then? And where is it today? I think that'd be interesting to hear.
Yeah. So I wasn't going to mass every Sunday in my 20s and my early 30s. I would go on like Christmas and Easter. and maybe pop in here and there. But in my 20s and 30s, every Sunday I would go to a God as I Understand Him meeting, either in Malvern or Westchester, which is right outside of Philadelphia where we are. So I always went to those. And I went through this, we always have all these chapters in our lives. And one of my chapters was every Sunday doing the God as I Understand Him. I just wasn't going to church. But I was always seeking God because I think, and I've mentioned this on your podcast before, it's been in sobriety where I've been the most desperate. I've been the most like drowning, like brought to my knees in sobriety. So I would always go to those meetings. And then when Phil and I had our kids, I mean, we had 3 kids in 2.5 years. So we weren't really going to church, with a 0, 1, and 2-year-old. Except for like Christmas. But there was a Sunday, I'll never forget it, when we were living in the borough of Kennett Square for a little bit, and we walked to church every single Sunday. And that's when the shift happened. And Phil was like the leader of our family with that. I think I shared that with you. It's like, we're raising these kids. We're going to church every Sunday. So that's when that started. And I have found we tried different churches too. I think I remember sharing that with you. And we returned to the Catholic Church. And that was like one of my favorite little chapters where we would walk to church every single Sunday and then go out to breakfast. But it's, I just find so much peace in church. Just like in that chapter in my life when I went to the God as I Understand Him meetings on Sundays, I felt so much peace. Even though at that time in my life I had stuff going on and I just didn't know how to articulate it. Do you know what I mean? In that moment, in that hour, I had so much peace. So
I think that I want to point out to people that don't know you, and I think that so many of us get to this place, and I think it's just a testament to God.
yeah.
Is like, I remember when your kids were little
Mm-hmm.
and we would talk
Yeah.
and you'd say, for whatever reason, we don't need to get in particulars. Your kids weren't going to go to Catholic school. That was
Right.
like not happening.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, it is not happening. Phil doesn't want to do it. He just doesn't want to do it. And I have to respect him, which he's the man in your family,
Yeah.
completely 110%.
Yeah.
And you're like, my kids are going to Catholic school.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And so that evolution is
Yeah.
so amazing, how we make plans and God laughs. And
Oh
I
my
think
gosh,
that
he
it's
does.
so,
He
it's so
so does.
true.
He so does. And, as all of us go through, it's always nice to be reminded of that. Like every time I have a plan in my head, which we all do, I'm like, I know it's not going to end up like this. It's going to be far better because He has the plan. So I just need to keep moving my feet. But yeah, that was a shift. Like you said, Phil's the leader of our band, and it's like we're doing Catholic school, and that's it. And yeah, it's like we're all constantly evolving and changing. And as we're raising our kids, it has to be the center because life gets lifey, and 99.9% of everything is out of our control. God is in control, so He's at the center of this little unit of 5 that we've built here. So, and it's a blessing to be able to send our kids to Catholic school where they learn that. I mean, every single year, I'm sure a lot of parents can attest to this. They have these like forms that they give you at back to school night. What's your goal for for Ruby, Vince, or Kyla this year? And I say the same thing for all 3 of them, no matter what grade they're in, to get closer to God. That's my goal. That's it. Because if that's the overarching umbrella, everything else falls into place. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. Nothing else really matters.
Who would have ever thought the Blessed Mother lives in your house too?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, that's right, Kyla. She keeps asking me when that costume's coming in, and it's in, but I'm like, yeah, Kyla's the Blessed Mother, and she got picked to be the Blessed Mother, and she's so excited. Yeah. So anyway, if anybody wants to visit with the Blessed Mother, you can come anytime.
I think we're on this journey. And the one thing that because I sent you the Abiding Together podcast
Yeah.
yesterday, and the one thing that I took from it that I wanted to talk about today too was showing up for each other. Like,
Yeah.
and saying to your girlfriends, like, how do you want me to show up? Right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Can you share more about that? Like, how have people shown up for you, and how has that helped you? And what has that looked like?
So you guys, I'm going, you guys can tell. I mean, I'm not, I mean, I will tell you when it's over, but I'm in the process of making a big change in my life that I felt I had no other option for. And, it's where I am. It's
Mhm.
been really hard. If you want, you can reach out to me and I'll give you details if you want, but I'm not, it's just not good to talk about it at this level yet. So, that being said, I have been, um, I I have been on this journey where I've been doing the same things over and over and over again for like the past 7, almost 8 years.
Yeah.
And it's been, I don't want to say it's hard because I think hard is finding water. It's been difficult, right? And it's been insane. And so I've made a huge change, and I'm diverting. I'm not doing the same things over and over again. So because of that, I have been reaching out and talking to people about what I need and what I don't need. But what I have to say is the most interesting thing is that I I've been drawn, or I've had people in my life that aren't always like wanting the best for me in some ways. And I'm not faulting them. I'm recognizing it. Like, it's not in the light that they're staying in the light. They're just bringing darkness. And I don't want to live in the dark. I
Mhm.
really don't. I want to live in the grace of God. As you just mentioned, you talked about how God has shown up for you,
Mhm.
and how when you were like, my kids are never going to Catholic school, Elizabeth.
Mhm.
And but then your kids went to Catholic school. Like, I
Mhm.
have no idea what my future holds, but to have women around me that
Mhm.
are also believe in God,
Yep.
that are also on the same journey and are my cheerleaders is what I'm looking for today.
Yeah.
Because I, for so long, have been, I love to help people.
Yep.
But I sometimes need to lean on some people, and I have
Mhm.
those people, and being able to identify what I'm looking for,
Yeah.
which I have with some people, and then it goes to crickets and they don't want to call you anymore, which is fine.
Yeah.
But because they've got to take care of themselves. I think the thing that they spoke about too, which is the boundaries. I'm not good with boundaries. I was
Mhm.
not raised with boundaries. I mean,
Yeah.
anybody, it was like people would barge in your door, they didn't care. It didn't matter what you were doing, if you were in the
Yeah.
bathroom, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I never ever had that. So it
Mhm.
was like, everything was up to everybody to hear, everything was up for everybody to give their opinion. It didn't matter, right? What was
Mhm.
going on in your life, you had to share it with everybody, and if you didn't, then why are you being secretive? Why are you doing this? And you're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, wait a minute, this is private." And what I'm learning at the ripe old age of 57
Yeah.
is that if I don't have boundaries for myself,
Mhm.
and my friends don't have boundaries, I don't think you can have a healthy relationship, right? I know
Right.
you and I have had conversations before where you're like, "I see this," and I'm like, "I see that," and we didn't grovel. We were just
Mhm.
like, but you were like, "This is my thing. This is my boundary," and I said, "Yeah, I get it. Totally respect it."
Yeah.
And because of that, our relationship gets deeper and richer.
Yes.
Because if I stay right here in like, it was interesting. One of these women also talked about like, if somebody asks you how you are, I remember I used to walk on the Radnor Trail all the time. It's right across
Mhm.
the street from my house. And I'd go
Uh-huh.
walking on the trail, and people would be like, "How are you?"
Mhm.
And
I'm
I'd
good.
be,
How are you?
exactly. "I'm good.
Yeah.
How are you?"
Yeah.
When everything's falling around, I mean, like the walls are falling in, the roof is caving in. I'm
Yeah,
like,
but
"No,
right, but I
everything."
hear that. I feel like too, there's time and place. So on the Radnor Trail, "Good, how are you?" is fine because you're there to, move your body and maybe listen to a podcast or listen, pray the rosary or whatever you're doing in that time. But I think it's nice to have just that one person, that's all you need. When they say, "How are you?" you can tell them. Because if you have that or when you have that, I feel like it enables you to say to other people, "I'm good, how are you?" And close your mouth and listen to what's really going on in their lives if they want to share it. because you have that outlet already. You don't need to. Does that make sense? You can in turn be of service to other people because you have that place where you can dump everything without judgment and
Oh
receive
my gosh.
unconditional love. So you can in turn give it to somebody else. So if you're on that Radnor trail and somebody says, and you're in a healthy place where you're sharing with a spiritual mentor or another companion on the journey or a sponsor, if you're in a 12-step program or a therapist or a coach or something, you don't need to say, do you really want to know what's going on? Because you have that space to do that. But what happens is you're able to be of service and truly listen to that person on the trail because you've had somebody listen to you. Do you know what I mean? And
I
people like to talk about what's going on if you give them that safe space because everybody has stuff going on. That's life.
Oh, everybody does. And I
Yeah.
think it's so interesting also that they spoke about how people since COVID have not really, it's hard for people to find people that they feel safe with. It just
Yes.
really is. But we
Yes.
need, and I loved what the visual that they gave of like Jesus, he was always either walking
Hmm.
or he was eating a meal with people.
Yeah.
And I love that vision because I
Yes.
think that sense of community and dining around a table and grabbing the food, and I love that. I think
Hmm.
it's just because I think about you and like since you've been in your new home, you
Hmm.
guys have been. I'm like, gosh, they're having another party. They're having another party. But it's so nice because you don't over stress about it, which is
Mm-mm.
amazing, and you
Mhm.
don't make it into like you're not trying to be Martha Stewart or
Mm-mm.
Betty Crocker
No,
or
no.
any of those
The greatest
people.
compliment I got was, I felt so welcome in your home." It doesn't matter, yeah, you it doesn't that's the greatest compliment I can get is for people to feel safe here and to know that they can come here and get something to eat and any of that. If they have something to share, I'll listen. Um, but yeah, but I'm able to do that today because I've had people like you, people in the 12, people that I've been able to say things to and not be judged. And not because secrets keep us sick. So
Mm,
being able to clean house and get everything out, which is another thing that Sister Miriam always talks about, is that fifth step that we have in Alcoholics Anonymous. But it's not just in Alcoholics Anonymous; it's life. It's confession. It's being able to completely share with another human being or a priest or somebody that you trust. Like, this is what's really going on for me, and I'm really, really scared, and I feel really alone, and I don't know where to move my feet next. And being reassured that like it's okay not to know where you're going to move your feet because God's before you. He's walking before you. He has it all planned out. But sometimes we need to hear that because we can get caught up in the holy shit, everything's caving in. What do I do? Where do I go? So if you have that one outlet, it helps you to like just I remember a sponsor telling me one time, like, Becky, it's like you're getting like a little vacuum, like a little dust buster, and you just put it in, like I just need to clean it all out because otherwise it permeates everything around me in a yucky way. And when the things that are around me are the things that are most important to me: my husband, my home, my children, and my relationship with God. So just, getting the ick out is the greatest blessing because then you can in turn hear other people's ick.
yeah.
And it's like there's so much miracles that come from that. You're able to grow into the space where God created you to be the person, you know what I mean? You grow into the person God created you to be instead of that narrative that we get stuck up in. Like, this person wants me to be this, or this person's not going to love me because I didn't do this. Instead, you learn to be who you are. Well, okay, well, I don't want to do that. And that's okay. You know,
Do you go to confession regularly?
not regularly. I need to, but I do go to confession. Yeah, it's interesting. We had when my daughter made her first reconciliation, parents had the option to go to reconciliation. And so they had we were in the church and there was like the priests up in the front and all the kids went, one by one, and then they opened it up to the parents. And majority don't go. The majority did not go. And I think that's the fear. You know, no judgment. I mean, it could have just been they didn't feel like going that day. I totally get that. But I think we're all so scared of judgment today. Like but it's just there's no better feeling than saying
You
to
know
somebody,
what? I was gonna, you know what? I just,
Yeah.
be, why people are fearful of judgment is because of social media.
Yes.
Because everybody can say whatever they feel about you
Hmm.
behind a screen on their computer in their
Yeah.
house in their pajamas, and they're on there and they're saying this and this,
Yeah.
and because of that judgment, because we've made ourselves so, like, I want to say raw, and like, if we put pictures up of ourselves and people say negative things, and I don't think that probably happens to most people. I'm probably the only one. I get a lot of negative, but that's okay. I
Yeah.
keep going. But I think that when I just went to confession,
Hmm.
and I told you about this. I went to mass, you guys.
Hmm.
I had last week. I had no, I didn't go going, all right, I'm going to confession. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. No, I said, I'm just going to go to church. So I go to church, and afterwards they were doing confession, which they don't do at a lot of churches except for on Saturdays, right? They
Hmm.
just don't do it. They are like, they're too busy.
Yeah.
So I saw that the priest got up. They're like going on either side. They're like, "Do you want to go and do confession?" So I go in and I do my confession. I'm like hysterically crying about what's going on in my life. And I say to the priest, I'm like, "Do you have a spiritual, like, can you help me? Because I need like somebody spiritually." And they're like, "No, sorry, we're too busy." And I have another friend here who I was just talking to yesterday, and she's like, I need to find a spiritual person. I want a spiritual guide, and there's nobody available. And I
Hmm.
feel like we're living in, like, the priests, at least in the Catholic Church here where I live, are
Hmm.
too busy.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like that where you are, but I know here, like, they just are too busy to help you.
I think so. I don't know that for a fact, but I do. I don't think they have the time to like counsel people. Maybe they do. Um, but yeah, I just think that they're spread a little thin doing all
I
the
do.
things that they need to do in order to keep things running.
So I think when you have a friend
Mhm.
like with us, and then I have some other friends that are, and I'm gravitating towards them. It's like that magnetic force is happening. But
Yes.
with people that are, I don't want to say like-minded because I don't want to just put pigeonhole myself, but we have at least this common belief that it's not us that's
Yeah.
guiding the forces.
Right. Right. I also feel like what you were saying, uh, the more you clean house, the more you turn into your authentic self, give yourself the space. You, we live in a world today where people, there's no, very little things are stay close to our hearts. People feel the need to share everything. You know what I mean? They need to share, I don't know, their, I'm just giving this as an example, like their meals or, and that's all great and stuff, but the more peace I get, the more I want to keep all that stuff close. I don't feel compelled to share everything that's going on.
You've
And
never been, and I want to just point this out. You've never been one to be, I don't want to say braggadocious because I don't know that everybody that's on social media is trying to be braggadocious,
I
but
agree with you. Yeah.
you have never been one. I always found it so interesting. I'm just going to say this. Okay. So I always found it really interesting because you have a full-time job. As you just mentioned, you had 3 kids in 3 years, and you have these 3 kids. You and your husband work at home in the same house together,
Uh-huh.
and you don't complain about it. You don't say anything about it. And people will say to you all the time, I'm so busy. I'm so busy. And you would never say, guess what? I'm busy too. You
Mhm.
just never ever shared it. And you don't spend, at least I don't hear you spending like hours and hours. I don't see you posting all the time on Facebook or Instagram. You don't do that. Like,
No,
I feel like you
because it
stay.
becomes more and more sacred to me. Everything around me is so sacred. I don't have a need to do that today.
So if
I don't,
somebody's out there and they're like, where did you, how did you get to the place where you were like, I don't need to be on, like, everybody's doing it, but I'm not going to do it. Like, everybody's
mhm.
going out and buying the bell bottom jeans, but you know what? I'm not going and buying the bell bottom
Yeah.
jeans. I'm staying true to me. I don't like, I wear like to wear straight legs. That's just
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Because I'm raising 2 daughters and they're not going to listen to me if I don't practice what I'm preaching. I want them to be true to themselves. And I practice every day giving them the space to be who they are. Wild, crazy, silly, wear what they choose to wear, even if I might not choose it. I'm trying to answer your question. How did I get to that space? Because raising my kids to
But
be
were
their
you
authentic,
ever into social media? Were you ever into posting?
not into posting so much as I was into like feeling like I had to, because I'm like, well, I want everyone to know like we went here and we did this and my husband adores me. You know what I mean? Like those kinds of things. I'm just trying to be silly about it, but um I don't know. Honestly, with the passage of time, the more I try to seek God, like that's it's not like people will look at it for like a second and they're not going to be like, oh my God, Becky is so amazing. Look at how amazing. I know my kids are amazing. I know my son is an amazing, amazing at this. And my daughters are so great at this and they love each other. And I know all that stuff. Why do I need to get a permission slip signed by somebody else do you know what I mean? It just becomes more and more sacred to me. I don't, that need has been lifted. It's just like the sixth and the seventh step where we asked, only God can take that away from us. He has taken that away from me. I know, I trust that my kids are going to grow up to be the amazing people that God created them to be, and the world will see. Whoever needs to see it will see it. I don't need to blast it on social media. And I also don't want to I always talk about my daughters, but like my son too, boys are different in this regard. But like, I don't want my girls to feel compelled that they have to do that. I know they're going to get to high school and all the girls are going to be doing all that stuff. If I'm not doing it, I'm not going to be the mom that's doing it. And that's fine if the other moms want to. But I want to set an example for my girls. So I don't want them to have to seek validation because I did that for my whole high school and I did that for years. And it's like a death sentence. It's terrible to live that way. So if
What do you
I'm
mean? Like, tell us what you mean. Like, give us an example of living that way. What do you mean?
seeking validation, you mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like present day or
No, but how
so
you did it before? Because, like, I was listening on this podcast. This woman was talking about, and I'm just going to talk on Lila Rose's podcast. This woman that
uh
walked away from $1 billion business,
mhm,
and she had never ever thought like wearing her outfits that she was wearing that were revealing because everybody else was wearing them, right?
yes.
Showing the midriff and all the rest of it. She didn't realize what she was doing, why she was doing it. She's like, oh, it's just, I did this because, everybody else was doing it. And I wonder so when you were just talking about that and getting that validation, was it everybody else was doing it or did you tell us about that? I just want to hear.
When I was seeking validation, what that was
Mhm,
like for me.
mhm,
So
mhm.
I grew up in a home where it was almost like there was a script. Like, this is how you're going to be for us to love you. This is, you're going to go to high school, you're going to go to college, you're going to get married, you're going to stay home, have these kids, your husband, and everything's going to be perfect if you follow that script, right? So along the journey of that, there were many, many times where I could feel internally like, oh God, this is uncomfortable. This script doesn't fit me. Like, it just doesn't, I don't feel this. I don't want to do that. I want to go like travel but I want to go move here. I want to go do this. I'm a free spirit. I like to do all that stuff. I want to see the world. And I would try to wobble off of that and get like reprimanded. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is a small example, but it kind of speaks to the feeling that I'm sure most of us have had. I remember like getting my nose pierced and coming home and it being found out. And it was like, oh, that doesn't follow the script. Oh my God. The nose pierced? No, people are going to think that you're like a punk rocker or, you don't fit, everything has to be like, I don't know, with what we want it to be, like just, and it's,
Stepford Wives. Yeah.
yeah. And I'm like, well, that's not, I just wanted to explore a little bit. Kind of like what I was saying to you, like giving my children the space to explore. You know what I mean? Find out what they like. I want to give that to them because Alcoholics Anonymous has given that to me. And I wasn't given that as a child. So what a gift to be able to give that to them because other people have taught me how to do that. So my point is, what did that feel like when I had to like follow a script? I was scared. I was fearful of abandonment. I was fearful that they wouldn't love me anymore. And it was so yucky because, and I was fearful, like if I didn't look a certain way. So then I had to, I self-destructed. I had a terrible, terrible eating disorder that is with me every single day.
Mm.
But that eating disorder manifested as an attempt to fit the script. Do you understand? And in doing so, I almost died. I don't want that for my kids.
No. And it's this control we have. Like, I
Yeah.
think that it's the control.
Yeah.
And I know you have to get to work and stuff, but
No,
I
it's
want
totally fine. I hope I
okay.
answered your question because I
You
really,
did, you did. I think that because what I heard, and maybe you can tell me I'm right or wrong, but I heard from you like you grew up in such in a household that it was all about the outsides, and I did
yeah,
too. And I
yeah,
think a lot of parents did that because they didn't know. Like there was
right.
no like we aren't obviously the lights are on now. We are seeing so much more than we've ever seen in our lives,
Absolutely. Mhm,
and that's what we thought. We thought
mhm.
to raise kids they have to look a certain way, but the reality is it's an inside job more than it's an
100%.
outside job.
Such an inside job, so much so that, like, when you're getting raised that way and you have a bad day, and kids are kids, so you come home from school and you're like, "Ugh, something happened on the bus. Somebody called me fat, and it really, really made me upset, and I wanna talk to somebody about it." And I walk into the house, and I don't know where anybody is to talk to. Where is everybody? And not only that, if they're there, they're not able to receive, "Hey, listen, today was really, really tough. I'm feeling so sad. This kid said this to me, and I just feel so sad. I just need a place to dump it." And that place didn't exist. So stuff, 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 stuff. Go to dinner. Oh my God, it was the best day ever. Everything was great. When I'm dying inside, and then that cycle just continues. So I lived that way for decades, because when you learn that as a child, until it's debunked, you're going to bring it into adulthood. So I, if I didn't debunk it, I would be doing that to my children. But I feel like the more I'm my authentic self and I'm not going to that script, I'm going to the person that God created me to be. I don't have this need to like tell everybody everything that's going on. It kind of all falls under that umbrella. Do you know what I
I
mean?
love that. I love
Does
that.
that make sense? I hope it
Yeah,
does. Because if
it
it doesn't,
totally
if
made
anybody
sense.
wants to
It
talk more,
totally
I'll listen.
yeah, I mean, you guys, if you're out there and you wanna reach us, you can
Yeah.
always reach me at elizabeth@elizabethchance.com, and I'll forward it to Becky. But, I think that what the biggest thing that I've taken away from what you've said today is, like, if we aren't our authentic selves, then
Mhm.
we're looking for validation from everybody else
So
about what we're
painful.
doing,
Yeah.
right? What we're
Ugh.
doing, we want strangers to say, "Oh, look, I got a like, I got a love, it
But here's
must be
another
good."
example. Exactly. Here's another example. I could be going for like a walk in my neighborhood, okay? And I'm sharing an example that I hope resonates with other people. And my neighbor could be driving by and I wave to her and she looks at me and doesn't wave back. If I was seeking validation, if I was not okay with who I am, I would be like, oh my God, did I do something? She must not like me. Did my kids do something? Oh my God. Does she not like the narrative? What did I do? Me, 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 all about me. I'm bad. I'm wrong. She must not like me. Oh my God, I need to get her approval. Let me like bring her something. Fast forward to today. After
Now, wait a minute. I want to stop and tell people that literally used to happen to you when your babies were
100%,
little. And
100%.
now it's so interesting because I think we all get to that place. I don't know if it's postpartum depression because they didn't even call it that when I was.
Yeah, after my third, it was definitely, I was like, I'm a little overwhelmed. But you couldn't say that. You know what I mean?
No, you never said that. You were never going on like, help, I'm drowning with
Well,
three
I will
kids.
say too, another thing is I have the best teammate. I remember people asking me, how'd you have 3 kids under 3 years? Like my husband. Like I'm not here to like be like he's perfect or any of that stuff but we work together. Like we have to because all we have is each other. We don't really have like, you know,
I love that. And so you went from being, and so if you're out there, you guys, and I know we're going, I know we're going over our time, but
wrap it up. No.
I'm wrapping it up, but what I want to wrap it up with is this, and then we'll talk about this again next month. And if you guys want me to talk about anything else with Becky, again, reach out to me at elizabeth@elizabethchance.com. Um, you went from being the person that would leave the walk, come into your house and go,
Mhm.
"Why did Sally not say hi to me?
Yeah,
What did I do? It's me. What did
absolutely.
I do?"
Me,
To
me, me. Yeah.
now having the grace
Mhm.
to be like, "She doesn't wave at me, no big deal. I'm gonna keep
She must
walking."
be thinking about her workday ahead. She must be thinking about something her child said this morning that she has to address with a teacher. She must be tired. She must be hungry. It's not about me. So as I practice that and realize that, because that's the truth, it's 99.9% of the time not about us. I'm able to just the next time I see her, she'll be like, "Hey, Becky, how are you?" You know what I mean? It's like, and I'll be like, "Oh my God, she does." It's just, that's life. We get distracted. We're thinking about other things. I've got other responsibilities. It has nothing to do with you. And even if it did have, if she doesn't like, okay, because I'm learning to like myself.
Mm, mm.
That's it. That's it.
Amen.
And I'm not for
Amen.
everybody, and that's okay. You know what I mean? None of us is, but I'm for enough people,
Well, and
you know?
God loves you. I mean,
God
that's
loves
one
me.
thing. Yeah,
But that's
right?
the thing. Yeah, learning that God loves you, and next time we talk, I would love to hear more about kind of what we were just talking about, how you were saying how, people can make a comment like, "Oh, you look great," and you're saying how on the inside you're falling apart. You
Oh,
know what I mean?
and we'll
Yeah.
just give you guys a teaser maybe for next month, but it's I was just saying to Becky before we started recording, I was out on my walk this morning with the puppies and this lady comes up to me, "Oh my God, you look so great. You're so skinny. How much weight have you lost?" I'm like, "I have no idea. I have no idea. I have no idea." Because I don't. I don't weigh myself. I have no idea. I just
Mhm.
know I'm walking through life. And then I had been crying. And I'll just tell you guys, I was crying in the Miami airport, walking through the airport in Miami, and I'm crying, and I'm not a crier. And I put on my big dark glasses, and I get on the plane, and the stewardess looks at me, and she goes, "You are so beautiful." And I'm like, "Really?" Because on the inside, I feel like dark and ugly and sad and sad and sad. And I mean, not that I regret crying at all, because I need to cry because I'm not a crier. For so long,
Well,
I
I think
didn't.
you always say that. You always say, "Becky, I'm not a crier." And you've been saying that to me for years. But like that has changed.
That has
And that's a good
changed.
thing. You
It
are a
is.
crier. So you
It
don't
is.
need to
I
say
am
I'm
a
not a crier
crier.
anymore because
I
you are.
am. I am. And
Yeah.
it's like, it's letting down, I think, as walking around as a human being, when you have been like, I'm not going to go into my childhood because you guys have already heard it, but there's been times that I've been left, right? I've been abandoned. It's not up for debate. It's just happened. It doesn't matter.
Mhm.
It's bad, good, indifferent. It's what happened. When that happens, what the me as an inner child went to, okay, nobody loves me, right?
Mhm.
So nobody loves me, so I've got to protect myself. And I was taught, do not cry. I was
Mhm.
born in 1968. It was like, do not cry, keep walking. Nobody cares. Like,
Mhm.
nobody wants to see your little alligator tears. Like,
Yeah.
that's not going to change anything. Keep walking. And because of that,
Mhm.
for so long, holding it in, as you just said, holding it in,
Mhm.
stuffing it. And
Mhm.
now going to, okay, I have to feel, or I'm not going to be okay. And I might be Humpty Dumpty, and all the king's horses and all the king's men can't put me back together again, but God can.
Yeah.
God
Yeah.
can.
And God
And
will put people in your path
oh,
that will be of
and
service
God
to him to help you. Yeah.
and God has put so many things, like when I
Yeah.
think about Medjugorje and how that how that trip happened, and how I remember my dear friend Amanda saying to me when I got invited to go, and they're like, "We're leaving in 2 weeks. Do you want to go to Medjugorje?" And I'm like,
Mhm.
let me think about it." And I
I
don't
remember
think
that
about
too.
anything. You remember
Yes.
that? And I'm
Yes.
like, "Should I go?" And I
I
decide
was
to
like,
go,
"Yeah."
and I'm like, and I decide to go, and it was amazing. And it's like yesterday when I was like, I'm like, I want to see Sister Miriam. I really do. The closest, I mean, she's going to Fargo, North Dakota in
Mhm.
November, but I have no idea how I get to Fargo, North
Yeah.
Dakota
Yeah.
from, but Phoenix is easy.
Yeah.
And, but going to this place that's like, I know that I always want to evolve, and I can't
Mhm.
evolve by myself.
Right. You
I
can't.
need I need you. I need my people. And
Mhm.
to be able to say, "How can I show up for you, Beck?" And going, "I just love you. How can I show up for you? I don't
Yeah.
want to be like, how do you want me to be? Do you want me to give you my opinion, or just want me to sit here and listen?" And
Right.
I think being able to say that to your friends you love, and
Mhm.
listening to those ladies yesterday was so encouraging to me
Yeah.
because I want to be that person. I
Yeah.
don't want to be the person that's just like talking about gossip, idle gossip, and what kind
Yeah.
of jeans you're wearing. I remember that when my kids were young, people were like, "What jeans are you getting?" And I'd be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'm getting these." And
Yeah.
it was such a waste of time.
It is. I think you've also come very far with that with your children, the whole opinion thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
You just listen and let them, and that's why they've been able to fly and be where they are and be doing what they're doing, whether or not you agree with it or not, because
Oh,
it's not up to you. Yeah, but I think
it
you've
wasn't easy.
no,
It was not easy. I
and
mean, it's
I don't
been
think it. I think it's still not. Now it
oh,
wasn't.
it's still
Still not daily. Yeah.
it's I mean, I haven't spoken to my son in almost 3 years,
Yeah.
right? I mean, he
Yes.
does not speak to me. I see him at events and we're cordial, but I don't have a relationship with him. And something that was pointed out to me yesterday again in the podcast was like, we assume we know what's going on with people
Hmm.
because we're like, "Oh, they're my sibling, they're my child. I know everything about them." But we
Yeah.
really have no idea.
And I think a lot of times we tell ourselves we know, so we'll make it up and be like, "Oh, he must not be talking to me because he married A, B, and C, and she doesn't like me." When we don't know that.
No.
We don't know that.
I don't know anything.
All you can do is continue to evolve. So if that day ever does arrive where he's like, "Hey, mom, I want to talk," you are in a space where you can say, "I'm
Right.
here to listen. Go ahead,"
And
which is such a beautiful spot to be in.
it's been again, I was raised I keep and I've been telling a lot of people this recently. I don't know why. It just keeps appearing in I always wanted to be a mom. Like
Yeah.
I was not I did want to be Barbara Walters, which I knew was a
Yeah.
huge stretch, but
Yeah.
because I was like a crazy drunk girl,
Yeah.
dancing on bars and doing everything else I was doing and gossiping and doing all that stuff, which of course ruined those chances. But when when my kids, I wanted them to be a certain thing, right? Like it was like I had to get them to the finish line. That was number one for me.
Right.
I was like, I was single mom, had to have,
Mhm.
I was single mom for pretty much all their lives. And it was hard. It was hard. It was difficult. It was challenging,
Yeah.
but I
Especially
did it.
because your ex-husband for the what? You got sober when your kids were 8, 9, and 10, right?
Six, my kids were
6,
Henry. So wait a minute, let me think. Henry was born in 1990.
6, 9, and 10. I remember Kent was 10, right?
Kent was 10. Okay, so Kent was 10.
Hadley was
Hadley
9.
was
8, 6,
9.
8, 10.
Yeah, yeah, 6, 8, 10. And I so when I got sober with them and I it was really hard. My mom, God rest her soul, was not really into me being sober. She was like, it's kind of embarrassing. It wasn't kind of embarrassing. I was
You
embarrassed.
didn't go to the script.
I did not follow script at all of my family of
Mhm.
origin. I bought a
Mhm.
house that had there was a plumber behind my house. I still own that, and I love that plumber,
Okay.
by the way.
Yeah.
Scott Borzelli is one of my I love him to death. He's been like a champ for me. But there were toilets, leftover toilets in the backyard of this.
Mhm.
My mother's like, "Oh my God, why are you buying
Yeah.
that house? It
Yeah.
has toilets." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Mom, well, there's barely any yard, and I can cut it with
Mhm.
my scissors."
But that's your mom's fear of what other
Oh,
people
oh,
think.
exactly. So for
And
me,
it's like it spills out. It's got octopus arms. It
oh,
spills out into everything.
oh, totally. So for me, I bought this house and I bought it because it was close to the bars. It was close to bars, which it still
Close to
is.
me.
It was close to you. And it was at the same elementary school that my kids had already been to. So I was
Right.
like, I cannot switch their schools. I've already switched too much. So
Yeah.
when I bought that, and then the joke was on me because I bought it in June and I got sober in August.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like has such a sense of humor and has such a
Yeah.
different plan than we all do.
Oh my gosh.
It's
Totally.
so crazy.
Yeah. Totally. I never thought I'd be where I am right now. Not in a million years. But we can all say that, but it's so fun to reflect back and be like, I thought he'd be here. And look
Yeah,
where he has us
and
planted.
I think that and maybe we'll end on this. I think that us grading our lives
Hmm.
as I'm getting A's, I'm getting B's, I'm getting C's, I'm getting F's over here. I think it's all about the journey. Like we're all dying.
Yeah.
There's no escaping that. We are all
Yeah.
going to die.
Yeah.
So while you're here,
Hmm.
how do you want to be?
Hmm.
And letting go.
You letting go. Yeah. Letting go is like, it's so freeing. I used to hear that so many times in AA. And now it takes so long for things to like make its way into my heart where I'm like, oh my God, I find like, we read the big book over and over and I'm like, I have it memorized. I can recite how it works to you. And I'm like, this is so, I used to be like, why do we have to hear this again and again? And it's so interesting. You hear the same things over and over again, but you hear it differently based on where you are in your soul training. You're like, oh my gosh, that finally makes sense. I get it. No wonder I needed to repeat that 9,900,000,000,000,000 times because now I get it, you know? So
Well, I
God
can
is
say
good.
that God is so good, but
Mhm.
I another podcast, you guys, that I'm listening to, is just, let me just hold on. I got to find it for you. It's, Wild at Heart.
Oh, I'll have to listen to that one.
Okay, and, I think I sent it to you, but, Wild at Heart, and the man who I'm gonna botch his name, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Here we go. John and Alan, who are, John anyway, the guys who run John Eldridge. So John Eldridge, before when he first starts the podcast, and
Mhm.
again, I'm gonna end with this, he says, "Take a deep breath. Imagine everyone that you are worried about, that you're
Mhm.
caring about, that you wanna fix or you wanna help whatever it is with this person that you're carrying in your backpack, that you aren't happy about where they are and you wanna help them. It's like sometimes you just have to give them to God
Mhm.
because we all are carrying something every day,
Yeah.
and it's giving that to God and taking that deep breath. I
Mhm.
just even saying that, I could feel everything in
Mhm.
my neck and my
Yeah.
shoulders
Release.
just yeah.
Yeah. I I remember when I was in rehab, they made me carry a backpack around, and I was like, "This is so stupid." I was 21. I was like, "You guys are crazy. What is this?" Fast forward 26 years, I'm like, "I get it. Why did it take me that long?" Now, even like if I'm helping my kids, which I try really not to do because that's their responsibility, but like if I'm carrying a bag in the house, it's that whole feeling like take it off. I'm like, God, I totally get that now. But they have made me carry a backpack around because they're like, Becky, you're carrying around everybody's opinions. You're carrying, and I would be like, no, I'm not that person. I need to appease that person. Otherwise, they'll abandon me. You know what I mean? It's like it takes what it takes. Time takes time.
And
And
God and letting God in the faster, you guys, I'm gonna end and then you get to say what you think. I think letting God in, like totally, like and it takes so much time. I'm here with
Mhm.
over 19 years of not having a drink, and I totally am feeling like I just want God, here we go. I don't know what you want me to see today. I mean, I've already learned lessons today, and it's only, it's 10:30 in the morning Eastern Standard Time. And I have already learned a lot of stuff,
Yeah,
and I'm letting it go to God. I don't know what it's gonna look like. I have no
yeah,
idea.
yeah. But he's got you.
He's
I've
got
already
me.
learned a few things too. I mean, that whole example I gave you of the neighbor not waving was this
Yeah.
morning. She hates me. Oh my God.
Oh,
Yeah. God is good and he's
God
got
is good.
us.
He's
And,
got us.
it's a beautiful thing to be able to, share everything with a non-judgmental presence because it is the greatest gift to be able to do that for somebody else
It's
because
amazing.
it's the greatest gift. And I think that's why we're all here. So if anybody wants to like share anything, I'll always listen. It would be an honor.
Me too.
It always is an honor when somebody shares stuff with you because, and it's like nothing surprises anybody. I remember a sponsor saying to me one time, I was sitting in her kitchen telling her something that was like, I thought was like the worst thing ever. And she's like, Becky, if there was a word for it, guess what? You're not the first person to do it. And fast forward 18 years, I'm like, okay, now I get that. Right. You know what I mean? Like we think we're so unique when we're all so much more alike than not. We're all scared. We all get lonely. We all get fearful. We all, like Sister Miriam always says, we all ruminate about, oh my God, the past. Like, why didn't I say that? Or when I see this person, this is what I'm going to say. And it's like, what a waste of energy because it nothing like just get back to right now, Becky, because God's going to provide. He's going to provide. Like you and I were talking about yesterday, the fishes and the loaves. When they didn't have enough fish and enough bread to feed everybody, and he provided. I always remind myself of that.
I
Like
love
he
that.
always provides. He always provides. I don't need more. I have plenty. And he will continue to provide as I trust in him. Thy will be done. Because his will is I was saying that to you yesterday too. Like if I meet Jesus tomorrow face to face, I don't want any resentment. I don't want to come to him with like, oh my God, I'm still angry at this person. I have such a like that has also taken time, having softness for the people that I love. Because we all have a story. We all have pain. And having such empathy for people that have hurt me. I really do. I have empathy for people that have hurt me.
Mm.
Anyway, we're going
I
off
love it.
now.
We're going off. We could talk for 5 hours, as we know
We
every
may
day.
or may not
We
have
talk
done this.
every day for like over an hour, so it doesn't. This is like we're like surprise, we're at 50 minutes. All right, and we wanted to do a half an hour. I love it. Well, you guys, I want to say thank you for listening today. I really, really appreciate it, Becky. I love you so much. I love you.
Too. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for saying yes every month and making time for me in your totally crazy, chaotic schedule.
Blessed
And
life.
blessed life. I love that.
That I'm
In
not
your
like
blessed
drinking,
life.
hanging my head over a toilet. Thanks be to God.
Thanks be to God. You guys, if you're out there and you feel alone, you aren't. That's a lie. You are never, ever, ever alone. God is always with you. And if you want to reach out to us again for the third time, you can reach us at Elizabeth, Elizabeth, at elizabethchance.com. Chance is spelled just like take a chance. And thanks for listening. Please subscribe. Please give me a rating. Please follow my show. It would mean the world to me. And take care. I'll be back with you guys on Tuesday. Until then, stay well and sending blessings to you all. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening, and please subscribe wherever you're listening to this podcast, or if you're watching me on YouTube, press subscribe. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.